So for my backtracker to work, it needs to know when to stop. It needs to know what a correct Sudoku is. So right here, um, if your Sudoku is complete and it's valid, stop. We're done. If your Sudoku is not valid, keep going. But how do I know what a valid Sudoku is? Well, let's introduce my two next functions: is valid, is solved. Void tell me if a cell is invalid was for my knowledge and help me, but let's look at it. So let's say we're doing our Sudoku right now, and we're eliminating possibilities. So let's say, for example, I don't know, we're trying some stuff. Let's just say we have 0, 9, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 8, and let's just take these two cells. Let's say your options are 1, 7, 6, and your options are, I don't know, just 7. Let's say we put, let's just say, okay, bad logic, 7 and a 2 maybe. Let's just say we kept throwing things at the wall. I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm going to keep going down my path. So we're going to keep going, maybe make this unsolved cell this number 4, maybe make this one a 5, maybe make this one a 2, and it will interact with the rest of the board, you know? But it's possible all these interactions might leave this cell invalid. There might be no valid option, you know? Because I don't know the exact order, but let's just say, okay, let's just throw some ideas out there. Let's say we make this cell a 4 now. Suddenly, this changes the board this way. Every other cell here has been changed slightly. Every other cell here in its box has been changed slightly. Every other cell in the column has been changed slightly. You know, so let's go there, bam, 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 bam. And all these changes interact with all their cells. And you never know what. So, for example, maybe one of these changes leads to a change here, and that leads to a change here, and then maybe this leads to a change here, up here, and maybe this change now is invalid because there are no more valid options. I hope that makes sense. It's just saying it's so hard to explain, but what I'm trying to say is we don't necessarily know if trying an answer here is valid because we have so many more things that interact with each other. And while it may look good, an interaction down the line might be invalid. So for example, through just trying a 4 here, every single cell here may be made invalid. And if a cell has no valid options, I'm going to say, hey, stop, return invalid. That's no good. And what I did was, okay, so you know we have an array, so let's call it 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 9. What I'm going to do is take this cell and then give me the sum of all these numbers. If the sum equals 0, well, stop. You're invalid. You can't be blank and have no options. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't really work that way. So I'm saying, okay, if you are a valid Sudoku based on all the stuff we did before, and you are now invalid, have no solutions, you're wrong. Sorry, stop. So for example, this one here might be invalid. So maybe it can't be a 4. Maybe this has to be a 5 instead. This cell, for example. And the next cell we do is tell me if you're solved. Like, I need to know when you are solved. And honestly, this was kind of a poor solution, but it did really work. So I know every single number in this Sudoku must have 1 to 9. Every single box must have 1 to 9. Every single row must have 1 to 9. And they can't ever overlap. So the sum has to equal 405. I did that, I think. Yep. And if your sum is not 405, you're wrong. If you have more than 1 9, for example, you're wrong. Kind of just hard counting every single row and column and breaking if it doesn't meet the criteria. Yep. And I just printed these out to make my life a bit easier, so we know this works.